The Bombardier CRJ100 and CRJ200 are a family of regional airliners manufactured by Bombardier, and based on the Canadair Challenger business jet. Development. The aircraft was based on the Canadair Challenger design, which was purchased by Canadair from Bill Lear in 1976. The wide fuselage of the Challenger, which seats 2 passengers on each side of the aisle, suggested early on to Canadair officials that it would be straightforward to stretch the aircraft to accommodate more seats, and there was a plan for a Challenger 610E, which would have had seating for 24 passengers. That lengthening did not occur, the effort being cancelled in 1981, but the idea did not disappear. In 1987, studies began for a much more ambitious stretched configuration, leading to the formal launch of the Canadair Regional Jet program in the spring of 1989. The Canadair name was retained despite the fact that Bombardier had bought out the company. The first of 3 development machines for the initial CRJ100 performed its first flight on May 10, 1991, though the first prototype was lost in a spin mishap on July 26, 1993 near Wichita, Kansas. The type obtained certification in late 1992, with initial delivery to customers late in that year. CRJ100. The CL600 design was stretched 5.92 meters to create the CRJ100, with fuselage plugs fore and aft of the wing, 2 more emergency exit doors, plus a reinforced and modified wing. Typical seating was 50 passengers, the maximum load being 52 passengers. The CRJ100 featured a Collins ProLine 4 avionics suite, Collins weather radar, GECF 34-3A1 turbofans with 41.0 kN, new wings with extended span, more fuel capacity, and improved landing gear to handle the higher weights. It was followed by the CRJ100ER subvariant with 20% more range, and the CRJ100LR subvariant with 40% more range than the standard CRJ100. The CRJ100 SE subvariant was produced to more closely meet the needs of corporate and executive operators. CRJ200. The CRJ200 is identical to the 100 model except for more efficient engines. Pinnacle Airlines had operated some with 44 seats, designated as CRJ440, with closets in the forward areas of the passenger cabin, though these were converted to 50-seat airplanes. These modifications were designed to allow operations under their Major Airline Contract Scope Clause, which restricts major airlines' connection carriers from operating equipment carrying 50 or more passengers to guard against usurpation of Airline Pilots Association and Allied Pilots Association Pilots Union contract. Similarly, Comair's fleet of 40-seat CRJ200s was sold at a discounted price to discourage Comair from purchasing the less expensive and smaller Embraer 135. There is also a CRJ200 freighter version which is designated CRJ200PF, which was developed in cooperation with Cascade Aerospace on the request of West Air Sweden. Variants. Several models of the CRJ have been produced, ranging in capacity from 40 to 50 passengers. The regional jet designations are marketing names and the official designation is CL600-2B19. CRJ100. The CRJ100 is the original 50-seat version. It is equipped with General Electric CF34-3A1 engines. Operators include Jazz Aviation and Rwandair, among others. CRJ100 SFAR, passenger-to-freighter conversion of CRJ100. CRJ200. The CRJ200 is identical to the CRJ100 except for its engines, which were upgraded to the CF34-3B1 model, offering improved efficiency. CRJ200 Fare, package freighter version of CRJ200. CRJ200 SFAR, passenger-to-freighter conversion of CRJ200. CRJ440, certified up to 44-seat, this version was designed with fewer seats in order to meet the needs of some major United States airlines. Challenger 800-850, a business jet variant of the CRJ200, CRJ500, proposed 50-seat version with wing and cabin improvements based on the CRJ700/900. cancelled in 2001. Retirement trend: U.S. airlines are accelerating retirement of these 50-seat regional jets because rising fuel prices are making them uneconomical to operate. The retirements are also reducing the value of their parts. Operators. As of August 2006, a total of 938 CRJ100 and CRJ200 aircraft are in airline service, with 8 further firm orders. Major operators include Air Nostrum, Air Wisconsin, ExpressJet, Jazz Aviation, Lufthansa CityLine, Mesa Airlines, Endeavour Air, PSA Airlines, Republic Airways Holdings, Voyager Airways and SkyWest Airlines. Some 20 other airlines also operate smaller fleets of the type. Incidents and accidents: on December 16, 1997, Air Canada Flight 646, a Bombardier CRJ100, crashed on a go-around at Greater Fredericton Airport in Fredericton, New Brunswick. No fatalities were reported. On June 22, 2003, Brit Air Flight 5672 with registration FGRJS from Nantes to Brest, France, crashed 2.3 miles short and 0.3 miles to the left of the runway when attempting a landing at Brest's airport. The aircraft's captain was the sole fatality. On October 14, 2004, Pinnacle Airlines Flight 3701, a Bombardier CRJ200, crashed on a non-revenue, repositioning flight from Little Rock, Arkansas to Minneapolis. The pilots attempted to climb the aircraft to its published service ceiling of 41,000 feet, exceeding the aircraft's capabilities for the existing conditions. This resulted in the flameout and possible core lock of both engines. The aircraft crashed about 15 minutes later, in sight of the diversion airport, killing both pilots. On November 21, 2004, China Eastern Airlines Flight 5210, a Bombardier CRJ200LR, crashed shortly after takeoff, killing all 53 on board as well as 2 on the ground. On August 27, 2006, Khmer Flight 191, marketed as Delta Connection Flight 5191, a Bombardier CRJ100ER, crashed during takeoff from the wrong runway at Bluegrass Airport in Lexington, Kentucky. There were 49 fatalities, with only the severely injured first officer surviving. On May 20, 2007, an Air Canada Jazz Bombardier CRJ100 which originated in Moncton, New Brunswick, was substantially damaged when its landing gear collapsed after landing at Toronto Pearson International Airport, ON. There were no injuries to any crew or passengers. Flight AC-8911 departed Moncton on a domestic flight to Toronto. The aircraft landed on runway 6 right with a 90-degree crosswind from the left, gusting from 13 to 23 knots. The aircraft first contacted the runway in a left-wing downside slip. The left main landing gear struck the runway first and the aircraft sustained a sharp lateral side load before bouncing. Once airborne again, the flight and ground spoilers deployed and the aircraft landed hard. Both main landing gear trunnion fittings failed and the landing gear collapsed. The aircraft remained upright, supported by the landing gear struts and wheels. The aircraft slid down the runway and exited via the Delta III taxiway, where the passengers deplaned. There was no fire. There were no injuries to the crew. Some passengers reported minor injuries as a result of the hard landing. On December 16, 2007, Air Wisconsin Flight 758A, a Bombardier CRJ200LR, overran the runway during landing at T.F. Green Airport in Providence, Rhode Island. No injuries or fatalities were reported. On February 13, 2008, Belovia Flight 1834, a Bombardier CRJ100LR, crashed and flipped over during takeoff at Zvezdnots International Airport in Yerevan, Armenia. Most passengers suffered some burns, and 4 were taken to the hospital. No fatalities were reported. On November 12, 2009, Rwandair Flight 205, a Bombardier CRJ100, crashed into a VIP terminal shortly after an emergency landing at Kigali International Airport, Rwanda. Out of the 10 passengers and 5 crew members, 1 passenger died. On January 19, 2010, PSA Airlines Canadair CRJ200 N246 PS overran the runway at Yeager Airport, Charleston, West Virginia following an aborted takeoff. The aircraft was stopped by the EMAS at the end of the runway, sustaining minor damage to its undercarriage. The information in the referenced article regarding substantial damage was premature and inaccurate. The aircraft was flown away within days of the incident after removal of a damaged landing gear cover. On March 17, 2011, Jetlink Express Bombardier CRJ100, Flight JO752 from Nairobi Jomo Kenyatta International Airport veered off the runway at Kisumu Airport while attempting to land in light rain and misty weather. The aircraft stopped safely a few meters from the shores of Lake Victoria. There were no fatalities. On April 4, 2011, a Georgian Airways Canadair CRJ100 ER4LGAU operating under an UN mission as Flight 834 from Banjoka International Airport, Kisangani, Democratic Republic of the Congo to Njili Airport missed the runway on landing at Kinshasa. The aircraft subsequently broke into pieces and caught fire. Only one survivor is reported out of 29 passengers and 4 crew. The airport was experiencing torrential rain, thunderstorms and low visibility at the time. On June 6, 2011, a SkyWest Airlines Canadair CRJ200, Flight 004443 from Cincinnati to Milwaukee couldn't extend right main landing gear. However, left main landing gear was extended and locked. After several failed attempts to extend the right main landing and running low on reserved fuel, airplane landed with right main gear up on runway 19. Emergency service was on scene and no fire broke out. No injuries occurred. Runway was closed for 2 hours as the result. On September 2, 2011, Atlantic Southeast Airlines Flight 5058, operated by Canadair CRJ200 N875AS landed at Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport with the left main undercarriage retracted. There were no injuries amongst the 50 passengers and 3 crew on board. On May 5, 2012 an Akbar's Aero CRJ200, flying from St. Petersburg to Astrakhan, Russia, made a forced landing at Voronezh Airport, due to cracking of the pilot's windshield. On July 17, 2012, a suspended SkyWest employee attempted to steal a CRJ200 from a Utah airport. Although his security access cards had been deactivated, the employee was able to enter the jet, start it, and attempt to taxi it toward a runway. The jet hit a jetway and a building, plowed into a parking lot and came to rest when its nose gear collapsed. After crashing the plane in the parking lot, the employee shot himself in the head and died at the scene. On January 29, 2013, SCAT Airlines Flight 760 crashed 5 km short of Almaty International Airport in Kazakhstan near the village of Kyzyl while attempting to land in bad weather conditions. 16 passengers and 5 crew died. Specifications, see also. Related development, Bombardier Challenger 600, Bombardier CRJ700, aircraft of comparable role, configuration and era. Embraer CRJ100 45 family, Fairchild Dornier 328 JET, related lists, list of civil aircraft, references. Jackson, Paul. Janes All the World's Aircraft 2003 Euro 2004. Coulston, UK, Janes Information Group, 2003. ISBN 0-7106-2537-5. The initial version of this article was based on a public domain article from Greg Gerbel's Vector site. External links, CRJ series at the Bombardier homepage, the Bombardier Challenger, CRJ, and Global Express.